Okay. Alrighty. So we're making this part three, and I got to start over. Okay. So let me start where I left off, and then I'll recap. Um, next, speak positive over your children. Speak positive over your children. One thing I do not like is a parent that finds so many negative things about their child that you really have to sit and wonder what is it good about your child? Can you tell me three things that are good about your child? Does everything out your mouth have to be so negative about your child? You have to praise your child. That's something my mother did growing up, is that she learned how to praise us. And there's nothing wrong with parents praising their child and letting them know that they're loved and that they're cared for and that they're being proud of. But children need that reinforcement, because when they go out there in the real world, they're not going to always get that from the real world. They're not. They learn to get that from home and then go out and be part of the real world, come back home, and then get refueled on positive encouragement, positive affirmations, positive words. I remember as a kid fondly, um, my mother would play Al Jarreau. You can be what you want to, and all you need is to get your boogie down. And we would listen to music, and music helped inspired us in our learning, in our education. And so I did not know that one day when I went through education school, ACT Houston, that I was going to be taught on one of the techniques of learning is putting some things to music or putting some things to rhyme, so that students can easily remember what's being taught to them. So that was a good thing. My mother instilled a lot of good things in us. In us, she really did. She really, really did. Teach your child um, sacrifice of time and study. Teach your child that sometimes they have to stay up 1 or 2 hours a night, or get up 1 or 2 hours early before they go to school or before they go to work to study or to get some things done. Teach them that life is not going to always bring things to them on a silver platter, and it's going to owe them stuff on a silver platter. That's not reality. That's not real. Okay, that's not real at all. Um, and so children must be taught that. Okay, teach them how to say, I'm going to set a goal or some schedules. That's one thing my mother taught us very well, is how to be on a regimen. I highly believe having a daily regimen and a goal set for your life is what you need. My mother would used to tell us to put paper and pencil on the side of your bed, on your nightstand. So sometimes when you think of ideas, you immediately write them down. You immediately write them down and say, oh yeah, I got to do this. Oh yeah, I got to. And it may look crazy in the morning when you look at the paper, but the idea is that you recorded it on paper to help you remember. Because a lot of times we go to sleep at night, and that's the best downtime after you spent the first 2 or 3 hours sleep. When you wake up for the next 10, 15 minutes, is to reflect and say, okay, how was I today? What I need to do different tomorrow than what I did today. What did I miss? Oh my God, was I supposed to do this? Oh my goodness, and remind myself about that. So, my mother has always taught that paper and pen are so effective. And I'm going to give you ladies a sneak, how can I say, tidbit of advice. Men like paper. If you put things in writing to them and try to express to them rather than trying to talk to them, they tend to understand you a lot better. Or sometimes they tend to care to want to hear what you have to say because you put it in writing. It may not work 100% of the time, but a good amount of the time it works. Because we as women, we have so much to say, And we have so much to get off our chest for that day. And men are not always prone to want to hear everything that you're talking about unless it's relevant and important. So my mother has already taught me as a young lady to put it in writing, put it on paper. Put it on paper. Okay? Alrighty. I read another article here that says, tell students the truth. Tell them the truth about getting a GED. Above all, increasing graduation rates, strategies are made even stronger with brutal honesty from teachers. Students tend to appreciate honesty, believe it or not. Students need to understand the long-term effects of dropping out. Okay? You may do well right now, but that doesn't always last very long. I mean, it doesn't take you very far into your older age. This way, they won't make decisions that they will regret. On average, high school dropouts earn $9,245 less per year than graduates do. They also have a higher death rate. And with a dose of reality, you can help students understand the real value of a high school education. Okay, and so I'm going to pair off by telling you some famous people that have, and I put all these links of information in the bottom of my page here when I published this video. Some famous people who have gone back and gotten their GED. Even though they're famous and they're rich, but they still found it a valued thing of completion to get their GED. You have Ben Nighthorse Campbell. This was published in one of the GED books that I had for 2013. And if you want to get a copy of that, please let me know and I'll send you a copy of it. He was, he said that I am proud to be an elected official who realizes we are trusted with taxpayers' hard-earned money. He was one of those that was entrusted and known as a Golden Bulldog Award, given the Golden Bulldog Award for the watchdogs of the Treasury for his work on issues such as these. As a member of the Senate Appropriations Committee and chairman of the General Government Committee, Senator Campbell studies complex problems confronting our nation. Once he understands an issue, he considers method to handle the problem and works out the situation. Problem solving in math follows a similar path. First, you must understand the concept or problem. What is it that you want to do now? Next, you consider the ways to solve the problem and what information do you have. When he studied for his GED, Senator Campbell faced many challenges. Your own challenges could probably be just as unique. We'll use the skills mastered in your GED to meet your challenges and confidence and determination. So this is about the famous senator, the one that watched over the United States Treasury, Ben Nighthorse Campbell, and he is a GED recipient. I also want to say you cannot get into the military without getting your GED. You cannot get into the military without getting your GED. We also have Ruth Ann Minner, who was a governor. Okay, again, this was published in a book. And she said, if you believe in something, then it's your responsibility to step up and do your part. Doing her part has been a challenge for Delaware Governor Ruth Ann Minner. Widowed at 32 with 3 sons to raise, she studied at night and received her GED, the first of many hard-won successes. Minner started her career in state government as a receptionist in the governor's office. A few years later, she decided to run for Delaware State Legislature. She won, serving first as state legislature, then lieutenant government, and ultimately governor. In her job, Governor Minner must stay informed. That means she must do a lot of reading about issues and events. Next, she must be able to take what she has read and digest it. She must consider the implications and then use what she has learned to make decisions. You too can use these skills as you read and digest information you find at work or in the newspaper or in books. The social studies unit exercises your ability to read and consider information, then use it to make decisions. So, even the governor of Delaware went back to get her GED. She had no idea that after marriage, having 3 boys, that she would be a widow of 3 boys. And she made it work. And in order for her to work as a receptionist where she lived, she had to have a high school diploma, a GED. And it opened up doors. Do you see the testimony of Ruth N. Minner? I want to put this up here so that y'all can see this. These awesome testimonies. These are not just your everyday people. These are politicians. These are folks who have found the value of it, and they didn't go wait till they got to the top. They did something about it later on in life, but they found out, man, without having a GED, I can't get very far. Okay, let's look at another one, and each one of these represent a subject in the GED book, so that's why when I read it, it sounds like, what's she doing? Okay, here's another one. Without my GED, I would have not been successful as a businesswoman. Linda Torres Winters. Linda Torres Winters. Okay, she represents the science section of the book. Linda Torres Winters has discovered many ways to use her GED. In 1994, she started a company called Lanitas, making instant salsa mixes from traditional recipes. After years of research, learning about spices, developing a marketing plan, and lots of hard work, Taurus Winters introduced her product. Sales continued to soar. Lanita's instant salsa mix conquers new markets. For Taurus Winters, involvement in her community is part of her position as a successful businesswoman. She hosts a local TV show reserves on Denver Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and works with charitable groups. Success for Lanita has been a process for discovering all that she can do. Discovering is part of what makes science exciting. The understanding that dawns as you reason through concepts. You will use this process of discovery on the GED science test. Okay. It also says that when she studied the GED test, Linda Torres Winters may have not known exactly how to use her certificate. She certainly could not have predicted many ways in which she would find success. You too may discover unexpected ways to use your GED. So it helped open up doors for her. Not only that, but it helped make her an example in the Latina or Latino community. And it doesn't matter what race, what creed, what color, what economic background you come from. She made it clear that getting a GED and being a businesswoman and entrepreneur was necessary. Okay, she just didn't do this off the top of her head. And I can only imagine, speaking as an entrepreneur myself, I can only imagine that going to different places and networking with a lot of people, that she found that there were some folks who actually finished and got their GED, who actually went to college and got an associate's or a bachelor's or a master's degree. And so she needed to feel not only whole and complete in herself of finishing something, but part of what she was doing, part of the crowd, part of the business infrastructure of being in the business community. Okay. So if she could do it, you can do it too. And we have another famous person. Everybody should know this person. He is truly, truly famous off of SNL, Saturday Night Live, and that is Chris Rock. Chris Rock. Chris Rock is another recipient of getting his GED. Saturday Night Live was a valuable experience. I learned how to write on a deadline. Isn't it amazing how life will put you in a pinch of time where you have no choice but to learn? You have no choice but to, I guess you could say, front to learn as if you knew what you were doing. Comedian Chris Rock has made a name for himself as a writer. Week after week, Chris wrote skits on unforgiving deadlines for Saturday Night Live. After 3 seasons with the late night comedy series, he moved on to starring in movies, comedy specials, and his own TV series, making 2 Grammy Award-winning recordings and authoring the book Rock This. In 1997, he won an Emmy Award for his comedy special Bring On the Pain, and was nominated for Best Writing for his work on Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher. The year 1999 brought him another Emmy for Outstanding Writing, and in 2000 he was nominated an additional 4 times. Producing high-quality skits on a weekly basis, Saturday Night Live, Chris Rock polished his writing skills. Unit 2, okay, well, it speaks about this unit. So don't be intimidated by what you see in the GED. Chris Rock learned to write on a deadline. You can learn to organize your ideas and get the paper done within the proper time limit. It just takes practice. And again, this is someone who has daughters. I think he has 2 daughters. He's married. And he saw the necessity of getting his GED. He had to show his credentials that he's able to write, comprehend, and to finish something. And let me say this, there's a lot of you all that start off with something great, but you don't know how to properly finish. You need to know how to persevere and stay in the finish line. You need to know that it's not what you start, it's what you end with. And it's how you begin when you end. And so I wanted to share that with you. Now I'm going to share the top, it's 50 of them, but I didn't write 50 of them. I'm going to share with you some names that I found on the internet of famous people. Oh, I didn't mean to write that on there. But of famous people who have attained their GED. Okay? Jim Carrey, Christian Slater, Dave Thomas of Wendy's, Eminem the rapper, Michael J. Fox of Family Ties, Christina Applegate of the Bundys, Love and Marriage, the Bundys, Richard Carmona, Arizona Senator, Nicolas Cage, Cyndi Lauper, the singer, Brandon Lee, Parade magazine publisher Walter Anderson, famous Amos cookie maker, which is Wally Amos, D.L. Hughley, the comedian, famous ABC newscaster Peter Jennings, movie producer Quentin Tarantino, comedian Richard Pryor, rapper, actor 50 Cent, singer Avril Lavigne, actress Cameron Diaz, singer Elton John. Yes, Bill Cosby, he has attained his GED too. And it was also said on the media, not sure how true it is, but JC was once a high school dropout, and I'm not sure if he attained his GED. And Beyonce was homeschooled, but it also said that she was getting her GED as well. So they have children. They have to set the standard for their kids to let them know it doesn't matter how rich mom and daddy are. an education still is an important thing to have. And that's all I have to share with you today. I wanted to put this video out there just to let you know you're not alone. And yes, just because Chris Rock and Jim Carrey and Michael J. Fox and Eminem and 50 Cent and all of them out there making money, at the end of the day, what happens when you're older? What happens when you have to read that contract and you have to sign it? And no matter, yes, you can hire attorneys, but what happens one day when you can't afford to hire an attorney to read that for you and to help you understand something? You got to learn how to read and interpret things for yourself. And that's the value of having an education. And so I'm not begging, I'm only letting you know that I am here for you. We here at the GED school, we want to help you achieve those dreams, help you set goals. And we want to let you know if you set goals, achieve, and win, you can have anything. Okay, this is all that I have for right now. I must tune out and turn into something else to do today. This is one of my goals that I had to do today was make this video. I haven't made one in a long time. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for caring. Thank you so much. I pray that I speak to those who really want to get an education. There's a lot of ways to get an education without always entering the classroom. And if you get in touch with me, email me, T as in Tom, HCOD at hotmail.com or text me 281-723-4762. I'll respond to you in your interest of attaining your GED. Once again, this is your extraordinary teacher, extraordinary healthcare consultant, Tara N. Harper, and I sign off. Peace and harmony. Have a good day.